So we've done few methods on first order non-linear PDE. Yes, tell me, method number 1, what we finished. There are total 4-5 forms we completed. Yes, case 1 or form 1 of a PDE. Quickly tell me. Only PQ?
Yes, sir, Lagrange.
Okay, Lagrange's is a linear. Lagrange's is a linear. So I'm not asking of Lagrange's is this form PP plus QQ equal to R. Okay. So that's a linear partial differential equation because power of P and Q is only one there. But here power and P and Q can be different or okay, because of that we say it is a non-linear first order PDE. Okay. So only PQ present, that is the first form. Then only PQZ present, case 2. Case 3, that XP and YQ present, and they are separated on each side of the equation. XP and YQ can be separated on two sides of the equation. And last is a Clairaut's form. The Clairaut's form is Z equal to PX plus QY plus F of PQ. Px plus Qy plus F of PQ. That about the Clairaut's form. So that about these 4 forms there that we finished. Okay, and this is the case 5 now. That is the Charpit's method. And what is the Charpit's form? F of xyz PQ equal to 0. F of xyz PQ equal to 0. So if you the difference is very clear, very clear. First of all, the Charpit's method, if you see the Charpit's subsidiary equation or this auxiliary equation, this is a too lengthy equation. This is a very big equation we use to get the solution. To get the solution of Charpit's method, step number 1, we should write this equation. That is a Charpit's subsidiary equation or Charpit's auxiliary equation. So you'll observe it is a dx upon dy upon dz upon dp upon and dq upon. The total 5 ratios are there. In Lagrange's method, we have only 3 ratios. Say dx upon capital P, dy upon capital Q is equal to dz upon capital R. So this is the auxiliary equation or subsidiary equation of Lagrange's. Only this is a small auxiliary equation, but Charpit have a very big auxiliary equation having the 5 ratios there. That's one. Now, how to identify the problem first? So you have to go in this sequence only. You have to go in this sequence only. That is, first of all, you have to see the given PD. In given PD, only PQ are present. If only PQ are present, use a method 1. If only PQZ present, use a method 2. If XP and YQ present, use a method 3. And if this is in the Clairaut's form, use a method 4. Okay. And if all XYZ PQ are present, you can solve it by Charpit's method. I will tell you, the Charpit's is the most general method actually. You can solve all problems by Charpit's also. But they becomes complicated. I will tell you, they become so complicated by Charpit's method. Because of that, this sequence is important. So you have to first check whether it is fitting in one of these 4 forms. If it is in one of these 4 forms, you get answer quickly than the Charpit's method. Suppose it is not in any of these 4 forms, you have to go for a Charpit's, write a Charpit's auxiliary equation, and from this auxiliary equation, our aim is to find out the values of P and Q in terms of XYZ. Find out P, Q in terms of XYZ. Once we get values of P and Q in XYZ, we replace that in the equation. This is one of the standard equation, that is a dz equal to pdx plus qdy, and integrate. We get the answer. So this similar equation or the same equation we are using in the method case 3 also. In case 3 also we use this dz equal to pdx plus qdy. From this also we take each ratio is equal to some constant, say k. We find out p and q in terms of this xy and k, and replace there, and we integrate that. Okay. So few methods are little bit similar. But the best part for you that in the exam, always this question on Charpit's method comes with a name, that solve the following PDE by a Charpit's method. I'll repeat, in examination, the question comes like this: solve the following PDE by Charpit's method. Another important thing, in every question paper you will get the example on Charpit. So this article is a very important article. Every question paper contain a 5-mark question of a Charpit's method there. And lastly, there are only 3 solved examples in the book. There are only 3 solved examples in our textbook, B.S. Grewal, and that 3 examples only coming in rotation in every question paper. So last 5 years, if you take regular as well as backlog papers, so probably you may get 10 question papers minimum there. So in 10 question papers, only these questions are coming in rotation. So any of that three are coming there. So it's again becomes a simple. But even though it comes a random example with a Chartpad, you can able to solve it because it's just a lengthy example, but not a difficult. I will say it is a lengthy. Okay. So let me come to the example so it becomes more clear how to solve the examples on Chartpads now. Question number one. So question number one is on the screen. So whenever I will write a question again, those who are not able to see it. So f is equal to the relation f we are given p square y. I am multiplying that. So I will take p square y plus q square y, and this qz I am taking on left hand side. So minus qz equal to 0. So step number one, what we have to do it, whatever the given equation we have, we have to write in the form of f of pqzxy equal to 0. F of pqzxy equal to 0. So all the terms you have to take on left hand side. And you clearly observe this equation doesn't have only pq, it doesn't have only pqz, it doesn't have only xp and yq, and it is not in Clairaut's form also. It is not in Clairaut's form. So we have to solve it by Chartpads. Okay. Any doubt in first identifying the example or writing in this form? After this, we have to write a Chartpads subsidiary equation. Can you tell me the Chartpads subsidiary equation? Anyone? I know it is a lengthy. Okay. So as it is a lengthy, I will show you here. So this is the equation 1 that you always give it. Give the equation 1 to f is equal to 0. So whatever the given equation, you write in on one side there. So this is actually our relation f there. Okay. So this is the value of f, and this is the Chartpads subsidiary equation where we have to replace the value of these partial derivatives. Can you tell me what is the value of? You can write one thing also. You can make one table. You write dou f by dou p. You write dou f by dou q. You write dou f by dou x. You write dou f by dou y, and you write dou f by dou z. So all these derivatives you can write it, and then you can replace in this equation. So can you tell me one by one all these partial derivatives? What is the dou f by dou p? Quick.
2p.
Not only 2p, it is a 2py. Y is
2py,
multiplied.
sir.
Yes. Dou f by dou q. 2qy only?
2qy minus z.
Okay, good. Dou f by dou x.
0.
Yes, good. Dou f by dou y.
p square plus q square
Good. And the last one, dou f by dou z.
minus q.
Okay. Now all these values you have to replace here and simplify. Just you have to replace in subsidiary equation and you have to simplify. So let I show you this simplification. So after replacement, already I told this is the equation 1. And when we replace these partial derivatives here, you will get this equation. Okay. Any doubt up to here? Just we replace the values of all partial derivatives there. Okay. What is the next step then? We discussed we should find the values of
PQ in terms
PQ.
of XY.
Yes, P and Q. So now you have to check which ratios we can compare so that we can integrate. Which two ratios we can collect together so that integration is possible. Yes, anyone? Which two ratios we should consider together so that integration is possible there? Can we integrate first two ratios? There is only dx. No. Okay. Yes. Last two ratio Pranit. Very good. So this clear observation should require there. If you observe the last two ratio, one of the p gets cancelled, and we can write from the last two ratio as PDP is equal to minus q dq. Minus q dq. Now you can integrate this and you will get this answer. P square plus q square equal to c. So here constant of integration taken as a c square. So choice is yours. You can take it anyone. Okay. P square plus q square is taken as a c square. Our aim is to get the value of p and q. Now to get the value of q, yes, someone can go with this third and fourth ratio also, and he will get the value of q in terms of I will say constant, or some other student can go with equation 1 and 2. So by 1 and 2 I can write it here. By 1 and 2 you will observe p square plus q square we taken as a c square. So c square y square is equal to qz. So what is the value of q? We get a q as a c square y square upon z. We got the value for q c square y square upon z there.
The c square y should be there.
Okay, c square y, my mistake. Very good observation. C square y is there. Nice. So we are replacing here is c square. So c square y equal to qz. So q becomes c square y upon z. So we got a q. Now how to get the value of p then? How to get the value of p? Our aim is to get the value of p and q in terms of x, y, z. So we got q. We got q in terms of x, y, z. One thing we achieved. How to get a value of p in terms of x, y, z? If I say this is equation 3, which equation we should use? By 2 and 3, can we? If we use the value of q here, we get p square plus q square means c4 y square upon z square is equal to c square. So what become p square? P square will become, that is c square minus c4 y square upon z square. So I will cross multiply and I will write a p also. I'm going to write only the p there. P is equal to, so c square z square. That's let I write that c square is taken common and square root becomes a z. C only. Z. Is it okay? We got p. Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's one. So this is the equation 4, which is the most important equation again. This is equation 4. So equation 3 and 4 mainly we are interested. Equation 3, 4. What is it? 3 and 4? They are the values of p and q. Values of p and q in terms of x, y, z. And once we get that pq in terms of x, y, z, what should be the next step? What should be the next step? What we are going?
z equal to p dx plus q dy.
Yes, very good. So we always replace these values of p and q in the equation known as a dz equal to p dx plus q dy and integrate them and integrate. So if anyone has a doubt up to getting the values of p and q, you can tell me. Once you complete this much, I will show you the remaining part, that integration. So what is the important thing? Getting the values of p and q in terms of x, y, z. Why we took c square? Yes, you can take only c also. See, you can play with the constant for looking better. Whenever see when integration of 1 by p comes a log p and log q, generally we take a constant as a log c, is it? Whenever every integration term gives us a logarithmic integration, then we take log c. whenever everything comes in a square, you can take constant in c square also for looking it's better. Otherwise, you can take just c. You can take just c also, doesn't matter. So your p value will look like this. Q will be become cy upon z. Your q will be cy upon z, and your p will come root c by z square root of z square minus cy. Okay, that way. Okay, is it okay? I think who is
Yes, sir.
Dipansh.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, Dipansh. Correct. So choice is your. You can take only c. You can take c square. You can take k. You can take a. Constant can be taken anything. These constants are arbitrary, and you can play with them. You can write any notation for them. Yes, after integration, we take a constant of integration as a c square here. Correct. Okay, so I hope there is no doubt up to this step. So you note down the values of P and Q, and now we are replacing these values in the equation known as a dz equal to P dx plus Q dy. That's another thing. So you'll observe you got these P and Q values that already I shown these values, and this z is actually outside the square root, outside the square root. So we are putting that in the dz equal to P dx plus Q dy. So this is the value of P, this is the value of P we already seen, and this is the value of Q already seen. Now, this is again a last important thing, that integration is not direct possible like in the case 3. In case 3, when we done that xp equal to yq form, there is everything is in variable separable form and you can integrate it directly. But right now, if you observe, when you replace p dx, this p is not a function of x only. P is a function of z and y. So you cannot treat that z and y as a constant because it is a total derivative. It is a dx there. It is not a dou z by dou x there. So in this case, we have to write this equation in the form so that integration is possible. But clearly, when you replace this value, you will observe your coefficient of dx contains the terms of z and y. That should not be with x, that should be with y only. Okay, so what can be done? First, we can collect the terms of dz and this dy together, dz and dy together, so that this term we can divide there, and we can write it in variable separable form. So what is done here? First, cross multiplied by z, cross multiply by z. So you'll observe this is z dz. I'll show you here. This denominator z is cross multiplied, so it becomes z dz minus c square y dy. C square y dy is equal to this term as it is, and now it should be in variable separable form. Now you'll observe z and y terms on LHS and the terms of x on RHS. So it is in variable separable form. Once it is in variable separable form, we can integrate. So to integrate, you should observe that it is in the form of f dash x upon root fx. What is the integration of f dash x upon root fx?
Log of fx.
Not log of fx. F dash upon root f. It is a 2 root f there. Is it?
Yes, sir. Sorry.
Okay, so it is a 2 root f. No issue. But you should take care and you get the answer. So next step is the answer. This is again one of the tricky step. Always after this step you have to arrange. You have to arrange in variable separable form. Remember, this variable separable form is important. Then only you can integrate. And in this case, that integration comes this one. The integration of left hand side is this one, and that is RHS integration is Cx plus constant of integration, and that becomes a final answer. So if you have the doubt, you can ask here.
Sir, please explain the reducible form again. Sorry, variable separation again.
Variable separable again. Okay, so if you come this part, actually when I write it, sometimes it creates the problem. Let me see. So this is the differential equation that we have. Okay, just we replace there. Next step, what is done? Just cross multiply by z. So it is coming z dz is equal to c into square root of z square minus c square y dx minus c square y dy.
plus c square y dy.
Oh yes, plus c square y dy. Good. Now you should have the good observation when you write these things. Now you can observe here. First thing, you cannot integrate it. Z dz integration is possible. Okay, integration of z dz is z square by 2. Integration of c square y dy, that is also possible. C square y square by 2. But you cannot integrate this term, because this term, this is a coefficient of dx should be function of x only. Coefficient of dx should be function of x only, and for that we have to convert it in variable separable form. You should take z dz minus c squared y dy on one side like this. Okay, z dz minus, and this term is on the RHS. Now this, to remove this term, we divide on both sides, or you can cross multiply and you will get this term there. Is it okay? Is it clear? Is it clear? And now you can integrate, because terms of z and y on one side and terms of on x on other side. Now you have to think for a formula that which we can integrate. So it is in the form of say f
Sir,
dash.
how dy is eliminated?
Dy is not eliminated, so it is a d of it is written derivative of that is written in the numerator there. It's not eliminated there. The d of the bracket is written. If you take derivative of this bracket, what you get? 2z dz, d of the bracket, derivative of z square, it is a 2z dz, and derivative of this is 2y dy, and if 1 by 2 is simplified, this same term you will get it. It is written in that
Yes, sir.
form, f dash
Understood.
x. Okay, it is written in the form of that f dash x upon root fx form. So if it is in the form of that 1 by 2 f dash x upon root fx, okay, or derivative of f dash root fx, and that becomes root fx only. Integration of this, integration of 1 by 2 f dash x upon root fx, or integration of f dash upon root fx is a 2 root fx there, that way. So just go through it, you will get it. Come to the another question here. Now the question is the 2xz minus p square x minus 2qxy plus pq is a 0. So if you write in the f form, so f of xyz equal to 0 form. So this is the equation 1 now. For this question number 2, this is our equation number 1. Okay, clear? Any doubt? This is the first equation f we will write. Then what is our subsidiary equation? This is the subsidiary equation that we have. So we want all these values again. Can you tell me dou f by dou p? What is the dou f by dou p? Sorry, I written wrong. This is equation 1. I want dou f by dou p. Dou f by dou p.
Minus 2px plus q.
Minus 2px plus q. Good. Dou f by dou q. Dou f by
Minus
2xy
2xy plus
minus
p.
2xy plus p.
minus 2xy plus p. Okay. Dou f by dou x. 2z
Minus 2p
2px
minus qy.
minus 2qy. Okay, it's lengthy. Are you getting? Dou f by dou y. Dou f by dou y. Quick.
minus 2qx,
And dou f by dou z last.
2x,
Okay, good. So just we first write all partial derivatives, and now we have to replace all these derivatives in this expression. Okay, but just clearly observe the last expression. Dou f by dou y. Dou f by dou y is a minus 2qx plus q into dou f by dou z, that is a 2x. So what is the value of this term? What is the value of this term when you replace there? What is the value of this term when you replace the value of dou f by dou y and dou f by dou z? Yes, I shown here, na? It cancel. What is that term? You will get dq upon dq upon 0, is it? Yes or no? Are we getting in the last term that dq upon 0?
Yes, sir.
Taking too much time, huh? So what theorem of equal ratio says? If denominator comes to 0, what about a numerator? What should be about numerator? No one is able to say anything there. This
The
is
numerator will also be 0.
numerator should be 0. We learned this about in the Lagrange's method. Lagrange's method we seen theorem of equal ratio says whenever we have some ratio and in the ratio if denominator is a 0, the numerator should be 0, then only it is valid. So dq should be 0. If dq is a 0, what about the value of q then? What should be the value of q? Integrate, na? If dq is a 0, q should be
See, sir.
constant, yeah. So I will say constant a. So let q is a. So we got q. There is no need to write all these partial derivatives here also because it's of not required. Now we have q and equation 1 is there in pq. So by 1 and 2 you get p. By 1 and 2 you get the value of p. So because if you replace here 2xz minus px square, okay, let I write the terms of p on the other side. So 2xz minus 2qxy is equal to this term and this term I written on one side, px square on the other side. This px square we taken on other side and pq is there, but q is a, so minus ap. So I replace q by p, sorry, q by a, and now p is taken common, x square minus a, and what is the value of p then? 2 times or 2x is common there from this side, 2x is common. We get z minus value of q is there, value of q is a there. So in bracket z minus ay
QY.
divided by x square minus a. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So we got p and q. We got p and q. That p is there, q is there. What should be the next step then?
Integration.
Sir, Z minus QY, na?
Z minus ay. Q value a है ना? Q is a.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Q is a. So don't forget to because P should be in XYZ and Q also should be in XYZ maximum. So P should not be in Q and Q should not be in a P there. Okay, that you should be careful. And once we get P and Q, generally we replace that first in a dz equal to P dx plus Q dy and integrate. So let I show you this calculation. Actually, first of all, the replacement is done. Actually, even though it is replaced everywhere, these terms of no require. Just you can say from last ratio, last ratio, we get dq upon 0, which implies that dq should be 0 and it should q is a constant. That you can write it there. Okay, you can write it that part only. So you get q is a constant. From that we get from this equation 1, from this equation 1 you get p, and now we have p and q, so we should replace that in this expression dz equal to p dx plus q dy. Again, when you replace that in that equation dz equal to p dx, the value of p we replace as a 2x into z minus ay upon x square minus a dx plus q dy, that is a dy. So you will observe this integral of dz is z is okay. Integration of a dy is also okay, that is ay. But you cannot integrate this term because the coefficient of dx should be the function of x only. These terms of x only. So rearrangement is done. Dz minus a dy is done. Dz minus a dy. This term we taken on left hand side. is equal to 2x upon x square minus a dx. Only this term's kept. This term we don't want on RHS because it should not be the coefficient of x. So you should divide here. Are you getting? This is a variable separable form. And that's the step written here. This is the same. This is the same. It's a variable separable form. And now it is in the form of f dash x upon fx. What's the integration of LHS? Derivative of denominator present in a numerator. What's the integration?
So e to the power fx.
No. F dash upon f is a log fx. No?
Log f.
So log of a denominator, it is written there, log of z minus ay. And it is again the same thing on the right hand side also, log of x square minus a, because derivative of denominator present in numerator. And plus the constant of integration. Now you can take plus c only, but you can take log b for a better solution, but better simplified solution. Okay. So not necessary use a and b. You can use c1 and c2 also. Some of you have c1 here throughout, and then you have log c2 there. And simplified answer will look like this. Choice is yours. You can write it in any of the form. This is also the answer. Okay, I will tell you. This is also your final answer, but more simplified answers are written in the bottom there. By properties of logarithm, that log is removed. So we'll observe the questions. If you think, calculation is a little lengthy, but they have same logic in every question. Every question there is same logic. Write Charpit's subsidiary equation. Find P and Q in terms of x, y, z, and put it in dz equal to p dx plus q dy and integrate it. Is that? Any doubt, anyone? Is there any doubt? No. Okay, Dilshad says no. So there is one more solved example of the textbook. I will show you directly complete solution. You can go through it your own. It's not so difficult again. You will observe the question is on the top. This is the equation f that you are given. This is the equation f. This is the equation 1. This is subsidiary equation. Then you get probably from this ratio, this and this ratio. First and third ratio. First and fourth ratio, sorry. By first and fourth ratio, you get the value of P. This is equation 2. By 1 and 2 then. By 1 and 2 you get Q. Once you get PQ, substitute, integrate. So this is a tricky part. You can go through it later on. Okay. You can go through it. That's all. So I will not go in the detail. I know you can do it. You can go through that slide later on. So just I will sum up our entire topic now. We finished this topic, unit number 4, partial differential equation. In the PDE, first we started this side. We started higher order PDE. In higher order PDE, homogeneous and non-homogeneous, we use a method of CF plus PI. CF plus PI gives us a complete solution. After that, we move to the first order PD. In first order PD, we completed this part again, Lagrange's PP plus QQ equal to R, which is a linear. And then we started this non-linear first order PD. In non-linear, these first 4 methods are a very simple method. They are shortcut methods there, but Charpit's method is one of the lengthy methods that we completed today. Okay, and that about your entire unit, partial differential equation of a 17 marks there. Generally, mark distribution is also given. Okay, you can see the mark distribution. These first 4 methods generally have 5 marks. Charpit method have 5 marks, and higher order methods that have 5 marks there.